What's the Bridges look with the Geek? My name's Steve, and today, I figured I'd film it since I'm sitting here working on this anyways. So, just gonna bring you guys along for the ride because I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna go about with this. But my game plan here is to make a kind of like back alley drop because I have the custom spawn sitting on the shelf, strangling the scorpion with the chains. Usually, when I associate with Spawn, I usually think of like the alleys, stuff like that where he's fighting in. So I kind of want to sort of replicate that. And I have this extra piece of insulation foam laying around. So I thought this would make a pretty decent starting point for the back wall. I just used some foam board for the bottom here. I actually went and outside sprayed it with some primer. The fun thing about the foam board is it doesn't like to stick, at least in the first pass. But this will give me some texturing. So next I'm going to go back over it, cover this entire thing in black. But it'll get some of the bumps from the paint underneath. And then I'm going to do the same thing, go back over again with the gray to kind of give it this look, but darker, if you will. So this is already done, at least for that part. So again, all I did here, because I got a little bit ahead of myself before I started filming, is I took my shelf that I got the Spawn sitting on for the display case, sat this over top of it, and literally just cut it out so that this form fits. So, don't really need this anymore, so we'll just throw this... No, I'm kidding. But what I got to start doing, because this is going to go back, you know, I'm going to hot glue this down, but I got to make the bricks, because back alley needs some bricks. So what I'm going to do is I have a respirator, or a mask if you will, face mask if you will, just because it is what I'm doing here is I'm going to be using, I don't have a wood burner, but I do have a soldering iron, so it kind of works the same way. And I'm just going to draw my lines using the soldering iron, because when the foam heats, it kind of expands a bit. So it gives you the right distance. To show you guys, this is what happens when you use the soldering iron, is when you stick it in, it expands it out. Because if you just did it normally, you're just going to have thin straight lines. And that's not really what you want. You want a little bit of gappage there. And adding a little bit of heat does that to it. Now, you're heating up foam, there's going to be fumes, so be forewarned of that. So make sure you get a well-ventilated area, wear a mask. Then before I get into it too, I already gauged my dots. So you'll see here, I have dots going all the way up because I kind of already measured it out. What looked right to me was going every quarter inch. So each of these is a quarter inch, quarter inch, quarter inch, because the figure is about 6 inches, a little bit bigger. And finding reference photos, it looked like there's about 24 bricks for like the height of a standard person, which could vary depending on how tall the person actually was, but quarter of an inch seemed fine for me. So I'm just gonna take the soldering, make my lines, and then fun part will be making the horizontals so we can complete the bricks. So I'm gonna put my mask on and we'll get to it. So here is our carved out siding for the brick. One thing you have to be careful with is make sure you don't go too deep in because you'll get a lot of these gouged in sections. Now, it's not a bad thing, because to be honest, with it having this much texture and variety, it kind of makes it look like it's been weathered and like just cracks missing out of the bricks, stuff like that. So it having varying depth, perfectly fine. Now I went ahead and did my line marks for where I want the bricks to be separated going up and down. So that's the next order of business. If you guys are wondering, I did, I think that was 1/2 inch. So every 1/2 inch alternating if you want to replicate what I'm doing here. So briefly, I've just taken a break on this, just because my soldering iron is getting really hot, so I'm going to let it cool for a bit and then we'll go back into it. But as you guys can sort of see, how this is kind of working so far. So, next, I'm going to just be literally just plopping this paint on here and just spreading it out. I'm going to use the sponge because I want to not just try to keep brush strokes out of as minimal as possible. And then let it dry, and we'll come back and add some more color to it. Alright, well, here's essentially the finished road, or alley pavement, if you will. So we'll have this here. We'll have our bricks on the back. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to litter it with yet, because alley, so it's going to need some litter. I know I'm going to make some like garbage bags, like a garbage can, and like a ladder to stick in the back to add a little bit to it. I might add a little bit more to the brick wall. I got to figure that out still. And then, again, just adding some more detail to this, because I would love a sewer topper, because I could use this for like turtles too if I wanted to. Let's figure it out. Alright, so while I'm waiting for trying to finish this up, because the soldering iron gets really hot after a certain amount of time, so I gotta turn it off, let it cool for a bit, then plug it back in and use it till it starts getting a little too hot. Which one thing I do want to bring up now is I definitely don't recommend this for children. Working on this because there's a lot of heat, a lot of sharp utensils. But for like adult collectors, I think this is fun. But anyways, gotta wait for that to heat. So now we gotta start making our stuff to give it character. Because if it's just like brick wall and some concrete on the bottom, it's not gonna really be that appealing to the eyes. So what I'm planning on doing is something akin to this. Giving it a ladder section, a walkway on top, and then probably what I'm going to do is I'm still going to do my lines here. I'll finish it up, but I think I'm going to expand this out and make this into like a garage door looking thing. Looks like what I'll do. Because even if I finish this up, I could cut this off, shift it over, re-glue it here. I think it'd be alright. Or even just leaving that entire section. Now it's probably a lot easier if I just cut that all off now. Nah, we'll see. But, alright, so what I figured is I got my standard like Mcfarlane action figure because it's going to be a Spawn display. Mostly I want everybody to kind of fit the scale. So, looking at it, I wanted about 2 inches in width because that makes sense to me, because usually when you're climbing a ladder, it's not much wide. It's about as wide as you. So 2 inches will do fine. So now I'm going to make 2-inch cuts for these straws. I was originally thinking of just electrical taping it, drilling holes through, and then using toothpicks. But I think this will just look better. Alright, so we did a trial thing. Didn't work the way I wanted it to. Alright, so sadly wasn't enough of connection for what I wanted to do there. So, next we're going to go to the Dremel route, I guess. So what I'm doing here is just painter's taping this together. So when I Dremel, it's not going to shift around all over the place. Alright, for the next part, ladder is drying currently. So that'll be a few. So we're going to make the base for the platform for the balcony. So just want to make sure this is going to work. So using my Dremel, drilling little holes into this. Probably going to be doing 3, just so I got enough support. This will be 1, probably 4. 4 of those, and then I want them to be about 4 inches wide. Alright, so now we got our base for this. Got our stairs set up. Next is probably going to be using this to make the grates. Oh, what this is just like sewing plastic. I'm starting to realize wherever I'm going to cut this hole out, I got to make reinforcements. So it's probably going to be right about there. Nice part, I'm just kind of ballparking it. It doesn't have to be perfect. But got our opening. If I wanted to, I can reinforce this. To be honest, I don't really need the drill for these ones, though. I can literally just glue this on, then just add it to the bottom. That sounds fair. We'll do that. Sad day, didn't realize the camera wasn't recording. But all I did was I just added a couple little straws here that I just cut out the size to fit around the hole here, just to give it a little bit more structure look to it. Granted, this isn't going to really hold up a figure very well when I'm done with it, but at least like looks like it should. That's really all that matters. Alright, so now I'm just making my post for the guardrail. And so I'll probably just make a few of these here and there. Just going to be doing 2 inches because for the most part it's going to... I don't need it to be full size because the wall here, it's pretty much going to stop at the top of the wall. So, like again, nobody's going to be standing on it. So I just kind of want to have the look, but it doesn't need to be, again, fully functional or even look fully functional because most of it's going to get cut out in the display case anyways. So 2 inches seems like probably should be good enough. A little bit of glue on the bottom, just make sure I get some on there. Glue on my support point. I'm going to start here and then work my way around. What I'm probably going to do though is once I get the top on, I'll do the same thing I did with the bottoms where I'll drill the holes, make my lines, and then those will go in separately, so then I'm not trying to get this all lined up in one shot. Okay, so got this all set up. As you guys can see, I got the primary post set up. Now it is cutting out the parts to fit these in, so we have the top of our guardrail. And then once I get this set up, I'm going to be doing the same thing of taking 2-inch ones and making extra posts. So I have some in the middle because it's already a pain in the butt trying to set this up as it is. So once I drill some holes, I can make some extra little posts. So I'd have 5 extra that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to drill my holes for this section. And then for this, I just have to really drill 2 holes because I need one for this, and then where it connects is where I'm going to glue it. So these two won't be quite as supportive, but this will be fine. And again, just want to reiterate, not really planning on putting figures on it, so it doesn't need to be super duper secure, but I want it to still kind of look alright. For the most part, like from what I've seen of them, if you want to get more technical, you probably could use like the toothpicks or something thinner and do a bunch of little ones, but not too worried about it. What I'm going to do here too is I'm going to put toothpicks on the bottom of these just to help them kind of line up with the grates. You guys can kind of get the gist what I'm trying to accomplish here anyways. Okay, so real quick, while I'm jumping back and forth, I've realized that I got this hole here. I knew it was going to be a problem to begin with. I was thinking about doing maybe a window, maybe just expanding it a bit more, because I see a lot of windows in alleys. And then I kind of thought like a garage door would be kind of cool. So that's what I'm going to do. And I've already cut this part here. You kind of see the giant gap. And I'm just going to go straight down here to kind of save me some time making more of the bricks. Although now that I realize I probably should finish this top section and then cut this because I have all my gauge marks down here. So we're going to do that real quick. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just cut this part off and then go from there. Then we'll make a door opening. It's all detailed up now. God, that makes for like almost a perfect door, doesn't it? It hurts, but I want to just keep it, but I kind of want to have like a little more character with it, so I just don't want to be all brick. So I think the original game plan is probably still the best plan. But anyways, I guess we could probably paint this up real quick while I'm sitting here, because we got to wait for glue to dry from a bunch of the other stuff before I can really work on that much more. So let's do that. After going over looking through all this stuff, I don't think I got like a brick red color, which makes me sad. But anyways, grab some cardstock here, put my paint on. So we're just gonna have to mix up the paint. My recommendation is just eyeball it. I'm just gonna try to mix some reds, browns together and see what happens. Because I think this flamingo red's probably gonna be pretty close. I don't know if it's 100% good, but we'll see. Alright, so tested a couple things. Got this painted red, as you guys can see. I thought I was recording and I really suck at this. So now I'm on to, after painting this red, I'm going to dry brush it. And then go in and fill in my crevices back with a gray color to kind of replicate brick more. So what I did was bathe the entire thing in a mix of red and a light brown to kind of get my brick coloring. And now I'm just wiping off a bunch of paint off the brush by getting a little bit of brown on here, just to slightly go over and accentuate some of these bricks a little more. Go a little heavier in certain spots than others. To give it a little bit of extra pop on the detailing. And again, don't be afraid to mess up or think that you're like, oh crap, I just blotched a bunch of paint in a certain section. Kind of like that. Because, to be honest, it helps give it a little bit more character. Because not all the bricks are going to look the same, so some of these are going to be a little bit darker in detailing than other sections, you know. But I think that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go over it with a black too, just to highlight a couple of sections. Alright, so it looks like all I got to gloss black. Should be alright though. Give it a little bit of a shine here and there. Ain't gonna hurt anything. Yeah, same thing. Just want to get as much of this off my brush as possible. And then just highlight certain sections. Looks like a grudgy brick wall to me. A little bit more black. Alright, so I think I've come to the realization I actually like the red. Now, I was trying to do a runny look. Actually, on camera, that doesn't look half bad. In person, it's alright. I need a little bit more gloss to it. So I'm actually going to mix up some clear Mod Podge, since I already got some like watered down anyways with a little bit of black, just to give this kind of more of a wet look. Because I was hoping the gloss black would kind of give it to me, but it's only slightly effective, and I think that's just because it's still wet. So, alright, so I think I like that. We'll dry it and see how it looks when we're done, and then I gotta clean up my mess. Okay, it's mostly dried, so we're gonna let it finish drying by itself, and I guess I'll go work on my side. Well, I guess I gotta put this on there and then work on the sidewalk. So I'm gonna measure it up. So, I guess we'll let it dry. We'll come back here in a bit. Alright, so again, testing some stuff out. What I did is I actually have this thin sheets of plastic here. I'm using this in order to make my garage door because I already kind of marked it up. When I marked it, it kind of dirtied up the door, and I was going to dirty the door anyway, so it's kind of worked out a little bit. But what I did was I cut the sheets of plastic into 2-inch sections. Did 2 inches, made a little gap, 2 inches, made a little gap, 2 inches, made a little gap. And this kind of helps to replicate the segmenting you see on the garage doors when they go to get into place and then like crease to go back up to go in. So I was trying to replicate that. Put this out a little bit more. Then I just super glued it onto another piece that I had around here. So I got 2 layers here, just to give it a little bit more thickness to it. What you could also do is, if you didn't have this, is to just use like cardboard and foam. Would have been another option. Just get some like white or like a light gray foam. Take cardboard, cut yourself 2-inch strips, and just glue them onto the cardboard. Would have done pretty much the same thing, but then that'll go right there. So I'm gonna have to shave off a little bit off the top just to fit that in. But what I'm probably going to do is use this top section here as the top of my door. So when I cut this off, if I don't have quite enough clearance, it's okay. I got to make a sidewalk anyways. So I can be a little bit willy-nilly with it. Oh, actually, you know what? Since I got to set this in, I'm probably just going to actually just slot this in here and call it a day. So we'll figure that out. But anyways, so I gotta make an indent for this to hook into. And my craft table got messy in the process. As you can see, I kind of got a little bit ahead of myself here. Cause what you guys can see is a fully hooked on the top of the guardrail. Currently, it's just being held on at one point here, well, 2 points here and up here with toothpicks going through, but pretty sturdy. Going to be adding a couple extra supports here just to give it some more cosmetic look, and then just a little that scary. And then you guys will notice that my dog's running around. Also, I made this little light here, which is actually just the top of a bottle, a cap for a bottle, and then it actually has a light on the inside of it. And as you can see, there's the pole here, which actually is just one of these straws, not really doing anything. But there's a switch. And with the switch, we actually have, well, it's a little touchy, but the light does actually work here. On the back, you can kind of see what I did. It's 9-volt battery with the light, some wires to hook everything on. Also, I just realized that everything popped out, and I don't know how. But anyways, I was gonna film it, but I didn't really know what I was doing here, and just to kind of save some time. Just some wires. There's holes going through the back here. As you guys can see with the straw, the wires are going through the straw there. Again, nothing going into here, but it just pops out the back here. Then it's just 9-volt battery, little connector piece I had laying around, and then just wire it up with a random little switch that I had sitting. So next, I'm going to be doing the simple thing of just making some what looks like supports. I'm just going to take some small bits of foam to make the little plates here, and then same thing I've been doing, putting toothpicks on the inside of it, stick it in to give it some added, make it stick. Not sure of a better way to say it right now. And then it'll just rest straight on the top here, and then super glue it all in, make my 3, and then we'll figure out how I'm going to do the ladder. Alright, real quick, how I measured it is just took the straw, applied a little bit of pressure to stick it in there, and then, as you guys can see, this is going to sit pretty much like that. I'm going to make little foam plates to kind of look like where it clamps into. But all I did was just stuck it in there, measured it out, just by literally resting the straw next to it. Took about what I needed off, and then seeing if it worked, and then just trimmed until it fit accordingly. So that's my general size. And oops, need one more. So we need 3 total. Let's take a third one. Guess I don't really need a whole 2 up here, do I? So we got our 3. Next, also see, I tried using little magnets. It worked, but not very well. So we got some added little supports here to peg into our stand on the back there. Also, I pretty much so with all like these little DOs and little custom stuff I work on. Just have fun with it. If you guys want to try to replicate this, you can. or just do whatever you feel like, you know. You want to try and make your own something, you want to do it a little differently. So I've seen a few people do this stuff, and this is kind of just the way that I decided to go about with it. Just take risks, have a little fun with it, experiment. Because one thing I kind of like about doing this is it's just a lot of trial and error. It's like once you get something looking good and you get a little bit of accomplishment behind it, just makes it all more worthwhile in the end. Now my only concern is that it's not sticking the way I wanted it to. Alright, so I've decided to zip tie it. Is what I'm going to go with. Probably not the most accurate looking thing ever, but it'll do. Alright, so for keeping this in place, I'm going to actually use this wire cutter, or sorry, paper clip here. I'm just going to snip it with my wire cutters, which are right here. Alright, so we got paper clip cut. Just going to insert it through the bottom here. Same with the other side. I'll just get it about where I want it, and then just insert it into the brick. So I was thinking about adding some more stuff to it, but to be honest, I think this looks pretty good the way it is currently, because I want to just think about adding some more pipes, but for the most part, it being a backdrop, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, and because I already put this in here, it kind of hinders that idea a little bit. Like I'd have to cut it or work around it, and then I was thinking about adding some drains, but because I'm going to have stuff here anyways, it would get hidden, so I'm going to ixnay on that. So now I'm just going to pretty much paint it up, and then weather the street, and then get the random accessories, and then we're done. Alright, so now I'm just going to go through, cover some of the bits with the gloss black, and then I'm going to go through, start rusting things up, what have you. Because for the most part, it would just be pure black, but some of these parts are going to have to get touched up a little bit. What's nice too is like with the inconsistency that I'm going to be adding with this paint here, here and there, it's going to give it a little bit more depth with texturing too. So, just want to point out, it's not going to really stay up by itself very well right now. It would seem, which kind of sucks, because I want to lean back. Granted, it fits in the case perfectly. It's like a nice snug fit, but just sitting here by itself, it's not going to be great. So you guys can't see the detailing. I'm going to go get it in the case, and then show you guys the final look.
And here you guys can see the finished diorama in its little display case holding, which I gotta reassemble everything now that it's in here. But overall, pretty happy with it. Added a couple little extras back there with the foot, the bags, the french fries, and the burger that I got from Rez a little while back. You can see the grates up here. It's got some holding some of the accessories for them right now. Might add a couple of things here and there, but outside of that, pretty pleased with the end results. Also got a chair back there. And then, just to show, sliding them a little bit forward so I can reach it, but it's too far. There we go. Got the street lamp working. Turn that off just so you guys can kind of see how it's looking. But yeah, pretty pleased with it. Granted, like, the top could maybe be a little bit sturdier looking, but then again, I kind of liked the way that turned out because it looks more or less very used and abused. So, especially if these guys are fighting and throwing each other all over the place on there. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the rust detailing pretty well on it. Plus you get the wet looking background for the brick, so it kind of looks like there's been some water runoff here and there. Now, I probably should have done this on my review table, to be fair, but then again, the back probably wouldn't have stood up on the review table because actually, currently it's being held on with Velcro to the back of the display case. Otherwise, there wasn't really much else of way of me getting it in there. But I'll have to do a thumbnail, so I'll probably add a couple of photos to the end of this just so you guys can still get some better looks. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys have ever tried to make little dioramas for your display cases. If you guys have any cool Spawn figures that you guys are super into, let me know down there. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become more Ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, before I forget too, we also have a t-shirt shop. We actually had our first sale the other day. First and only sale. So I appreciate whoever bought the t-shirt. And also our Patreon if you guys like to help donate and get more videos like these coming up. Bye-bye.